Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing, guys. Let's not forget that, baby. All right. So there are some things that are popping off. One thing is for sure. I guess we are starting a little bit earlier than usual. Because there was supposed to be a hearing a little bit ago. It was supposed to start a little bit ago, and now it's not happening until later. Yeah. So there's that, guys. Okay? So there is that. Just so you know. Okay? So, again, Ellery, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support and the love. But please do me a favor before we get into this, okay? Before we get into all of this stuff that's going on, all right? Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, I'm on all of them. So make sure you hit that follow button, please and thank you. Hit that follow button. Follow. Make sure you do that. Hit that subscribe button here on my YouTube channel. Go to my second channel. Subscribe over there as well. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. Okay? Second channel is called The Pascal Show Clips. Go and subscribe over there. Hit that notification bell on both platforms so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it is random. Very much random. So please make sure you do that. Okay? All right. Okay. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out that Patreon. And of course, check out pascalmerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, so go check it out. pascalmerch.com. Okay, guys. So what's going to happen is most likely we're going to be doing a shorter kind of show, kind of like a prelim type of thing, like a pregame before the actual game, because clearly there was supposed to be a hearing starting this morning, and now it has been moved to 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which will be like 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. Just so you know, 3:30 Central Standard Time, okay? Just so you guys have the math and the time in your heads correctly, okay? But nonetheless, there are some things that we should talk about before we get into what's going on at 3:30 Central Standard Time, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, okay? We got plenty of things that we could talk about that we are going to rap about on this specific show. I don't know if I'm going to stay for the entire time, you know what I mean, to sit and wait for the actual court hearing. No, I think what we'll do is we'll be on for like an hour or so, and then, we'll go back live and do a full coverage of what's going on with this situation. Okay, just so you know, I'm gonna be real. I'm hoping for more information, right? I'm hoping, because there's a lot of speculation that there may be a continuation. They may push this this next court hearing that's supposed to be happening on May 1st. They may push that. That's what they're alleging, that it may not actually happen on the 1st. And they may ask for a continuance so that they have a little bit more time to go through the information before they go into this new hearing that's supposed to be happening on the 1st of May. We'll see if that's actually true or not. Okay? We will see if that happens or not. Now, the Gaskins just asked a question. That's a very good question. Thank you so much for the question. Pascal, do you know if this trial will be on TV? Don't know. Here's the thing. We'll see what the judge says. And if I'm correct, is it going to be the same? That's the question. Is it going to be the same judge? Is this going to be the same judge that's presiding over these hearings right now? Okay? We'll see. But nonetheless, right now they're sitting there going, no cameras inside the courtroom right now. They're not allowing not a damn thing right now. So I don't know. This might be a Diddy situation all over again, guys, which kind of sucks. I hope it's not, because I think cameras inside the courtroom are extremely important. That's just what I think. I know a lot of other people agree with me on that. All right. I think it's extremely important to find out what is going on in that courtroom. And it gets us an opportunity to see justice and how justice is done, right? How the court proceedings are done. And it leaves things to be a little bit more transparent, especially when it comes to a high profile case like this. And Remy's stuff just said, judge said no because of the content that was on his phone. You know, the CP, the nasty stuff. You get what I'm saying? Here's the thing. Let's talk about that for a hot minute, okay? There are ways that they could actually not show that stuff on camera. You see what I'm saying? There's a way that they can do that. They've done it in many other cases before, many other trials before, okay? Where they, you know, when they have a gruesome crime scene or they have content that is very adult oriented, they will, you know, make sure that that stuff is not being seen on camera. They do those things. They absolutely do those things. So again, for them to sit there and go, nah, you know what I mean? We'll see. But I don't think that should be the be all and end all of why they're not showing or not potentially not having cameras in this high profile case. First off, it is a high mother loving profile case. Let's not forget that. Everybody and their mama is at the edge of their seats on this one because of the revelation that just came out last week, if I'm correct. Absolutely insane information came out that everybody is going wild over. The fact that he had content on his phone and on other devices that came together of a summing up of 40 terabytes of content. That is some shocking stuff, especially when you hear things from the rumor mill over the last 7 months that are now confirming to be true in the most recent court hearing that they had. Think about that for a second. I want everybody to take a minute, take a breath, breathe in this beautiful air that we have in our lungs, you know what I mean, that is going into our lungs. We are very lucky, okay, to be alive. Let me just say that really quick. We are very lucky to be alive. So breathe in for a second and then breathe out. Okay, now let's breathe in this moment when there was so much content, so much rumor circulating all over the internets revolving around Celeste and D4vd. I haven't said his name for the last 19 minutes. Surprised. But nonetheless, his name is D4vd. At least that's what I call him. Now, here's the thing. You got this dude, and with Celeste, her body is found in the way that it was. And there was a tidal wave of content coming out about his connections to Celeste. Y'all don't remember the theory of the second Celeste? Remember the second Celeste? Let's just talk about the second Celeste for a hot minute, okay? Let's talk about that for a hot minute. Remember the rumor that was coming out? That there was a possibility? Sorry, Lint. That there's a possibility that he may have had a stand-in for Celeste so that people would not start asking questions. Yeah, where's she at, though? Remember that girl that used to be hanging out with? Where's she at, though? Which is absolutely insane if you really think about it. Now, I even have questions about that. Do you understand? Now I'm kind of wondering, could those rumors be true? Because there's already rumors about him being out here gallivanting with the likes of Celeste, that the town that she lived in and grew up in, the students that she went and matriculated at that school with, potentially her parents as well that were raising her, all knew about this relationship that should not have happened. Now, back in the day, 7 months ago, when her body was found, this was one of those things that was coming out, and we're like, we don't know if that's true or not. We don't know if that's a fugazi or if people are just making these things up just for ish and giggles. Only to find out that is actually true. That's absolutely insane. Remember, the things that were rumors back in the day, now we all need to circle back, go back down memory lane again, circle back to those theories and look at them because they're probably true. I mean, some of them are like really asinine and out of this world. If they're sitting there going like, ancient aliens, man, like that's insane. Okay. But the other things that we've been hearing, let's talk. Like I said, let's have a conversation about this second Celeste. We even talked about it 7 months ago when it's like, hey, is there a possibility that this other girl that was named Celeste that kind of looked like her, but was of age, she was a legal, she was not a little. Could there be a possibility that he brought her in to act as a stand-in for Celeste? Think about this for a second. Because now I'm like, all these rumors, not all of them, but a good portion of them could actually be true. And this dude is so diabolical. How diabolical is he, Pascal? He's so diabolical that he would go out of his way, potentially, to have another girl stand in as Celeste. Because there was too many people that knew that he was running around with the likes of 14-year-old or maybe 13-year-old Celeste. Think about that for a second. Put that in your pipe and smoke on that for a hot minute. Now, I know that may be a stretch, okay? But that is a rumor that a lot of people were talking about and basically saying, like, could this be true, right? Ellery, thank you so much for the love again. Her parents need to serve some time. They were selling their daughter to a PDF. Now, here's the thing. This is what the rumor, this is what we've been hearing from SF Investigates, but we do not have absolute confirmation from that yet from law enforcement or from prosecution. In fact, I feel like if there was, and I'm not, hold on, time out. I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe SF Investigates. I think he did a very good, thorough job. I don't think he would just go out of his way to put his whole career on the line to just start making things up for the sake of getting some people to look at him in any kind of way. No, I think SF Investigates found out some information, and there's information he can't give us because it's an ongoing case, right? But he knows that something is going on, that something is afoot between D4vd and the parents. But here's the thing. Have we seen anything? Have we seen anything about them getting arrested, being looked at, being interrogated? Nothing, anything of that sort. Have we seen anything? Have they been hit with any kind of charges for the potential, the possibility of them having something to do with selling their own child? I'm just saying. Now, I get it. Some people may not believe the likes of SF Investigates and all that. And I leave that up to you guys. You listen to the information and you consume it and absorb it at your own discretion. Okay? But I feel like with something like this, such a high profile case like this, I just don't see someone of any kind, especially when their job is to dig and find the truth, would go and make something up. So for me, the fact that you've been hearing from other people, other sources, saying, yeah, students were blackmailing him. They were getting money from David so that he could get them to stay quiet. You're hearing that from teachers in the area, okay? You're hearing that from teachers, y'all. Ice Road, thank you so much for the love. The parents were working with the FBI. If they're working with the FBI, I don't know if they're working with the FBI now, like, you know what I mean, after she was found, or if they were working with the FBI before she was found. I don't know, okay? But nonetheless, the timeline of everything seems a little bit weird, in my personal opinion. In my personal opinion. You have a young girl being filed as missing in April of 2024. Sure, they have flyers up trying to find her, so on and so forth. But it's not like there's any active search going on because they knew exactly where she was. I find that a little bit weird and interesting. Very telling. Nicole, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. What up, P? What up? What's good? What's popping? Okay. I'm just saying, hit the like, peeps. Thank you so much. Yes. Hit that like button down below, please, and thank you, okay? That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But let me take that down. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. But yeah, like I said, this is a very strange situation. Very odd case. And then as more and more comes out, we start to realize, oh, damn. There's a lot of telling stuff that's been going on. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. And I think those things are very important to look at now, especially when you start to hear what the rumor mill is saying, only to find out that we have information now that he was doing some nasty stuff with and to Celeste. And then the fact that there is another potential victim out there that's also cooperating with police, that is also a very, very bad and very telling situation as well. This is all super bad, guys. This is all super bad. And now I'm going, okay, David, D4vd, you got a whole lot of explaining to do. Whole lot of explaining to do. And let's keep it a bean. Because now I wish there were students stepping forward and speaking out about these things. Why haven't we heard anything? I mean, we've been hearing people through comments on pages and stuff like that, but we ain't never heard anybody really come out and go, I knew him. We have not seen any exclusive interviews that I know of where they're like, I was friends with D4vd, or no, I was friends with Celeste and she was telling me about this dude named D4vd and, X, Y, and Z. And then she just disappeared. And I don't know where she went, but we knew that she was with D4vd. And yeah, it is true that they were straight up, people were blackmailing D4vd for this thing because they had this information. Where's the information? Where are the people saying this stuff? I want to see an interview. Okay? Doesn't have to be here. I'm just saying, on the likes of, I don't know, Jesse Weber, because we ain't got Ashley Banfield on News Nation no more. But you get what I'm saying, right? Where's the info? Star Fury, thank you so much for the love. Diggity damn. Thank you. My mother-in-law lives in Lake Elsinore, California, and that community is very small. Duh. Yeah, man. Come on now. Very small. So just imagine. I will. Hold on. Okay, moving on. Also, I hope, did not disrespect you in any way, but I did post a first super chat. I didn't see it. I'm so sorry. But thank you for posting the first super chat. Hey, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. You got me now thinking and imagining. Yeah, I'm imagining it too. Okay. Now imagine I agree. Imagine you are in a small community, a small tiggity town, okay? And everybody knows about Celeste missing. And everybody heard the rumor mill about her, running around gallivanting with a scallywag named D4vd. Think about that for a second. And then all of a sudden, everybody knows about this scallywag, and he's out here just being a nasty mother lover. He is not her age. She is not of age. And they know that she's running around with a guy named D4vd. Like I said, it's just so strange. So if the town knew, that means the school knew. That means the parents knew. I'm sorry. Mary, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. I already knew the parents was getting paid off because the brother said he was picking her up at the house. Hello? Yeah. Hello. Exactly. Mary. That's crazy, right? That's a little bit crazy. We're already hearing about that. And we already heard that from SF Investigates as well, which is insane. Lakia, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Now, every time I see that man's name, I find myself saying D4vd. Thanks a lot, Pascal. You're welcome. Brought to you by The Pascal Show. D4vd. That I would not endorse that brand ever. That doesn't sound good. Okay, but brought to you by, not brought to you by, just D4vd. Okay, just nasty. He's a dirty he a dirty bird. Okay, straight up a dirty bird. All right, and he has a lot of explaining to do. Mary, thank you so much. Yes, I know I'm wild. Okay, but that's how you like me, though. Right? Yeah, you like me wild. Mary, okay? But let us continue with our conversation. So now this is why Gavin Fish is saying D4vd too? Did I inspire him to say? Gavin's great. I'm not knocking Gavin. Gavin's great. Okay, Gavin Fish is fantastic. I like his show and his channel as well. Shout out to Gavin Fish. Okay, but that would be hilarious if I, if you could inspire one person, I can quit now. I can quit. Thanks, guys. It's been great. This is the last show ever in the history of the Pascal Show. I just motivated somebody else to say D4vd. So we done. My job here is done. I have converted a new person into saying D4vd. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Hit that like button on your way out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell, even though this is the last show ever. You just never know. I might come back on and inspire more people. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. The show's not over yet. The show's not over. It's far from being done. We are far from being done. Okay? But I inspired another person to say D4vd. Like I said, if you could inspire one person, You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Just yeah, moving on. Oya, thank you so much for the love. We're the nosy neighbors when you need them. Speak up. You know what? That's interesting too. Yeah, like, you know how it is. The times when you're like, that damn neighbor always in our business, right? And then the time when it actually matters, they ain't in your business. And you're like, you didn't see none of that? Real talk. You didn't see none of that. Nothing with mother loving. Nah, man. Nah, you didn't. Why aren't you being nosy now? She missing. You didn't see nothing? Nosy ass neighbor. You didn't see nothing. Nothing, homie. Okay. Thank you so much for helping out. Appreciate you. For not being nosy when it matters. That's the only time when you're like, oh, thank God for that nosy ass neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. I've apparently Tyranno. 626 Tirino. Yeah. Apparently, it's gone national now. D4vd. Yeah. I need to just turn it into a t-shirt. I swear to God, I just need to just black t-shirt, white writing, D4vd. I just need to do it. Okay. Now that other people are saying it too, I'm inspired. Now I want to hear Gavin say, because I'm sure it sounds like, angels singing from the heavens, like I appreciate that. I feel that in my chest. You know what I'm saying? I'm verklempt with that info. Thank you. Yeah, somebody else is already going to copyright it. Watch taco covers. Okay, watch. Why the name taco covers? What's the origin story of that? I'm just curious. Why taco covers? Who covers their tacos? What happened? Were you in prison at one time? Because you had to cover your tacos when it was Taco Tuesday at prison? I don't think that they do Taco Tuesday at prison, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. So why are you covering your tacos? What does that mean? Is there a double meaning in that? I'm just saying. Are you covering your top? Like, what's going on? Taco covers. That's a new one. Because I'm Mexican, I make cover art for rappers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at myself. I'm dumb. Okay. Because I was like, what are you talking about? That's what's up, though. You make cover art for rappers. I like that. Okay, we learning something new today. That's what taco cover. Okay, so you Mexican and you make cover art for rappers. That's what's up. Thank you. Taco covers. I took it to a whole other level. You know what I'm saying? That was a whole. Can we get back to talking about D4vd for like a hot minute? Okay, let's get back to the conversation. Taco covers. I'm sorry. Okay. Were you in prison? You covering your tacos? Are you actually covering your tacos? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay. Literally, I could entertain myself. Okay. If I ever had to be in some sort of like solitary confinement, you'd be seeing me laughing. Not because I'm losing my mind. It's because I could entertain myself without a problem, all by myself. Literally. I don't need nothing except my brain, So I apologize, taco covers. All love. That makes sense now. Now it makes sense. But it did work, though, if you really think about it. Okay? Taco covers, it worked. Because I asked you what taco covers about. See what I'm saying? It worked. So job well done. Job well done, son. Yes, taco covers. Good job. All right. Let's see. Mary, thank you so much. They seen all of that. Just ain't talking because they knew the parents knew. Thank you so much for bringing us back down to earth. Here's the thing. Parents knew, and if that is really, really, really true, I still don't understand why they're not getting hit with anything. We have not heard anything about them getting charged with anything. We haven't seen anything of that sort. So that's my issue here. That's my gripe. There ain't never been any type of conversation about why, about any of those allegations. We haven't heard anything about law enforcement or prosecution, the DEA looking into that stuff. We haven't heard even a rumor about it. Nothing. So it seems a little bit strange that if it is true, and I do believe it is to be true, why haven't they caught anything? I want to say this too. Okay, real quick. In fact, I want to make sure that this is heard from the nosebleed seats. Can we actually hold these PDF files and all of these monsters accountable for what they done did to all of these mother-loving littles? Can we do that? Because it's about time that we actually see, in this day and age, some semblance of justice for these littles. Am I right or am I right? Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation, let me just say, there should be justice. What about them Epstein files? What about all those children that need protection? I don't know why I feel like Obama now, but what about those children that need protection? Where's the justice? Protection on those children. Real talk, where's it at? Where's it at? That's what I'd like to know. What about all that? So that's why I'm sitting there going like, hey, first and foremost, you got people out here like D4vd that have done some really bad things. Some really, really bad things out here. And they still haven't caught anything. Caught some serious charges. Here's the other thing, too, because we've already talked about Pig Vomit in the past. Remember Pig Vomit number 1? With his nasty, dusty-ass hat. Remember that hat? Woo! Woo! That hat was supposed to be fitted on his head. That thing was holding on for dear life on his head. But moving on, little trip down memory lane. You know for a fact that guy was a part of some sort of ring. What about D4vd? Why would D4vd have that crazy amount of content on his person and on all of his devices and whatnot? They had 40 terabytes of content and other things too, but a good portion of it, as they said, was chock full of disturbing content. Why would he have that content? Just for himself? Think about that for a second. Think about that. Why have we been seeing over and over and over again these particular individuals who clearly have some sort of connection to something? Why do they keep getting just the, getting hit with, charges themselves, but they never deep dive into actually bringing justice for all the other kids that may be connected? Like, do the reverse math on those kids that are on his hard drive. Who are they? Where is he getting that content from? How is he finding that content? Why? Why aren't they going and diving deeper into finding out what ring that guy is a part of? What kind of Discord, what kind of dark web chat form is he a part of? You see what I'm saying? Only M, thank you so much for the love. Appreciate it. Welcome to the family, you new member. Thank you so much. But like I said, think about that for a second. It just doesn't make any sense. Mary, you crack yourself up, don't you, Pascal? Yeah, I do sometimes. Like I said, even though I may be very entertaining to you, I'm very entertaining to myself too. Okay? Yeah. I definitely entertain the hell out of myself. I got a very, very wild imagination. That's just me, But again, guys, make that make sense. I'm sorry. I just think that there's something so deep that's going on. And we haven't even scratched the surface of it yet. But it's up to them to actually do something about it. Law enforcement, DA, etc. They need to do something about it. Urban Warfare, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. I could go get area footage. I'm literally 5 minutes away in Wildemore, next door to Lake Elsinore. I think I know where the paid off kids pick done to. Oh, shoot, go ahead. Send it my way too, baby. I would love to see it, right? If you got access to that info, send it my way, baby. Please and thank you. Now, here's the thing, okay? We're just taking a little trip down memory lane because I did this in a pop-up video already, but I do want to share this because, again, this is the stuff that really, really drives me nuts, okay? Like, there's something going on here And I don't know if we're going to get the full scope of it. I just keep thinking that they're just going to scratch the surface and go, well, we got another bad guy down. And it's like, well, wait a second. Unless he was making that content himself. Okay? Where? If not, where did he get that content? Think about that, guys. Hi, Corey. Yeah, I'm live, baby. We live. So make that make sense. Think about that for a second. What would make, or how would he get this content? How, y'all? And I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be difficult or anything of that sort. I'm just saying, someone make it make sense. He has a copious amount of content on his phone alone, which is of littles that he shouldn't even have on his phone. They are saying that they could not tell us whether or not a good portion of that content was actually of Celeste or not, which means he has content either he made himself or he got it off the web, or somebody, through some sort of ring that he's getting this this kind of content from. So where is that? What is that ring? What is that website? What is that dark web? I mean, we don't need to know it, but I'm just saying, why aren't they deep diving into that? Unearth them all. As Trump would say, drain the swamp, drain it all. Drain it. Drain the mother-loving swamp. Because you know for a fact it's more than just the D4vd. And then the other thing is he sharing this content? Let's just say he made it himself. Think about that for a second. Is he sharing this content with other people? Are they going and doing their whatever they need to do? Their IP address thingies and blah, 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 to find out whether or not he's been sharing or receiving this type of stuff from other people, to and from these other people from all over the world. Why aren't we exposing this stuff? You see what I'm saying? I am so done. I am so done with the things that we've been hearing about, like Epstein and these files and stuff. And they say these guys' names, but then we don't hear nothing about them getting any type of punishment. That's ridiculous. Where is the justice, right? This is getting stupid. Mary, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it, Mary, because people like that don't think they're ever going to get caught. I mean, that's the whole point, right? And then, but the thing is that you want them to be all out here, right? So that they do get caught. So now you got some guy who's getting content. He's probably going and downloading all this crap from somewhere. If it's not content that he made personally, if he didn't make, if this ain't a disturbing version of, even more disturbing version of Diddy, where he's just making, amateur content. If that's not the case, then where is he getting that stuff from? And then do the reverse math and get all them mother lovers. Don't just sit there and go, oh, we got the D4vd and that's it. Job well done, sirs. Good job. You get a medal of whatever for doing what you did. Good job, son. Good on you for getting the D4vd. That's a true American right there. He protects the community in his town. That's amazing. Like, shut up. That's great. But at the same time, there's more to this. It goes deeper. What about the other people that are around him? You mean to tell me that D4vd never shared or exposed or, gave out that kind of information to the people that were around him too? What about Neo? What about Neo? What about these other mother lovers that are around him that were his sycophants friends that were saying that he could do no wrong, basically? Where they at? You mean to tell me they didn't know anything about this stuff at all too? Nothing? Now, I'm not sitting here saying that that's not possible, that you can hold things kind of close to the vest, but he was out in public with the likes of Celeste. And these kids knew that she was not of age, that what they were having was a forbidden relationship, an illegal relationship. So stop me with the nonsense of the friends not really truly knowing. You see what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Please and thank you. And this is the thing that drives me even more insane. Let's look at this video one more again. I just did this in a video, but we got to look at this. And like I said, stop. If you got teachers out here saying this, yo, son, this is knuckin' futs. It's a little quiet. You might want to turn this up a little bit.
Hold up. That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was
This we all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So
Hold on. You hear what he's saying, right? And it's crazy how excitedly he's talking about this, right? You know, he's like, oh, I got her here. And oh, that's the poster right here. You know what I mean? I know, this is how connected we are to this whole situation. No. Don't get me wrong. I get it. This is a crazy story. This is a crazy, tragic story. But why isn't he talking to the police right now? Okay? Think about that for a second. Why is he not having conversations with 5-0? Now, maybe he has. I don't know. But I think it's very interesting that he would know all of this information, and he's actually a teacher of this school. He's a teacher at this school that she went to. Same student that apparently was blackmailing D4vd as well was in the same classroom as Celeste Rivas. I'm hoping that police talk to him. I'm hoping he testifies, because that's some very interesting information that no one knows about until just recently, or until just when her body was found. Suddenly all these videos came out, right? And I get it. He's like, holy crap. 7 months ago when her body was found, this video dropped where he's sitting there excitedly being like, yo, I knew her, blah, 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 blah. The problem is that everyone knew. Everyone knew, guys.
when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year.
Actually, it was April, but it's all good. He doesn't have all the facts. Okay. But April of that same year, 7 weeks maybe or so, 6 or 7 weeks later, from the time that she was actually dropped back off at home after D4vd's management received an email basically saying, hey man, we know you got Celeste. Her family's very concerned about her well-being and her whereabouts. Can you please send her back home? And that's what they did the very next day. February 20th, 2024 is when they dropped her back off at her front stoop and they kick rocks. Then 6-7 weeks later, parents go to the police and they file her missing of early April 2024. Just so you know the timeline a little bit. But what's crazy is that they knew exactly who to reach out to. Hold on. Before we let him finish cooking here, think about that. They knew who to reach out to. The people that reached out to D4vd's management, where the management reached out to D4vd. This is levels that I've never, of the likes you've never seen before. This is insane. Do you understand? D4vd. He's in so much trouble because management received an email from someone saying, hey, we know you got Celeste and her parents are very concerned. So we want you to get her ass back to the parents' home. Okay, kisses, right? Deuces, love yous. So they dropped her off. February 20th, allegedly the very next day, they dropped her off. That means they knew that she was with D4vd. They knew exactly where she was, and they knew enough to actually send an email to his actual management, which also means management knew as freaking well. Do you understand how insane this is? This isn't just some crazy, like, rumor mill type of thing. You look at the breadcrumbs that Steve Fisher wonderfully put out for everyone to see. You see for yourself that this dude was up to no good and his team knew about it. Okay, Mary, thank you so much. Well, that's what it seems like they're doing with Epstein. What about the other people that was there? Absolutely. How about all the people that were condoning the behavior of the likes of Epstein, of the likes of D4vd? Think about that. D4vd was up to no good. His management knew. Okay, his management team knew. The people that surrounded his life knew. The people that surrounded Celeste's life knew. The town knew. Lake Elsinore knew. The students at the school knew. So they just started blackmailing this dude? Come on, y'all.
2024. That's when her friends told me what happened. And it was this rapper that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
Hold on. Hold on.
She's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
Big time. Big time. And now there's rumor that there may have been a situation where they were talking as young as when she was 10 years old. Do you understand? So F being 12, she could have been 10 when they started talking, y'all. Sprinkling it in. He was like 15, I guess, at the time. She was 10 years old. Okay. That's what I mean by like, yo, you can't make this stuff up. This is absolutely insane. Okay. And it only gets worse. All right. Actually, hold on. Even better. Hold on. Maybe this is a better sounding video. This is the same video. I'm just playing it again. Maybe this is a better sounding one. Okay. Take a listen.
What? Hold up. That's her in my classroom.
Much better.
In front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was this?
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper, that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media. Let me tell you another story.
Again, obviously, I'm sure he's trying to teach them the dark side of social media and how bad it can be. Maybe that's what he's doing. I don't know. But one thing is for sure, it is pretty shocking that even a teacher knew about this story before she was even found. Okay, before she was even found in pieces in his car. Master Ma, thank you so much for the love. If parents can now be held accountable for the actions of school pupils, then adults who knowingly ignore or enable the grooming or the A of a child should be held accountable as well. Master Ma, I couldn't agree more. Okay, brilliantly said. They should be held accountable for sure. Okay. And I'm going to be real. Maybe this is a situation where I don't know. You never know. Money is a devastating or great motivator. And maybe it was one of those things where he was making, he was a very rich guy. He was making crazy money off his streams. He's very successful at what he does at the time. Could it be that maybe he was just like, yo, I'll just pay you guys. Like, shh, cool, we cool. Like, listen, like it's not even like, maybe they're lying to the parents. Maybe he was lying to the parents. Listen, this is completely platonic. It's not even like that, sir. It's not even like that, sir. Talking to Celeste's daddy, going, it's not even like that. I promise. I think she's very talented. She's a very good friend, you know, but I don't want this stuff to be out there like this. What can I do to help out? What can I do? Maybe that was the thing, you know, I can make things happen. I could change your life in one stroke of a pen on a checkbook, you know, on one transfer of a Venmo or Cash App, you know. You tell me what you need, I got you, bro. Whatever it may be, I don't know. But it is pretty insane that the parents knew, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The parents freaking knew. Mary, thank you so much. You got P. Diddy minors, R. Kelly minors, Epstein minors, but all those parents should be held accountable too. Now, if they knew what was going on, yes, absolutely. Because I don't think every single Aura situation or Diddy situation was a thing where the parents knew. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, well, if that means you about to be a star, then Justin, go in that room and do your thing. I don't think every single kid, every single minor knew what these guys were up to. But then again, I think there are some parents that knew what was going on and let their kids go in there and do their thing because they're saying this kid's about to be a superstar. You know, this is a small sacrifice, one blip in his life for a lifetime of success and his name written in the stars, right? But I don't think every teacher or every parent knew, but I think there were a lot of parents that did know, you know? It's crazy. Never underestimate the power of potential fame, right? Star Fury, thank you so much for the love. I was thinking the same thing, that old song. What people do for money. Yep. People will do anything for it. Damn right. Damn right. And it's crazy how much people are willing to sacrifice for a little bit of bread. Pretty insane. We're seeing it in real time right now as we speak. That's another conversation in itself. We ain't going to get too political over here today, but you get what I'm saying. Plenty of things that we're seeing for fame or for power. And then, of course, we're seeing a lot. Look at what we saw with the Diddy trial. Dawg. What we saw with that Diddy trial, all these mother lovers seeing him act a fool, break laws, etc., treat people like absolute trash, threaten their lives, etc. And all these people just turned a blind eye to the situation. Why? Because it was Diddy. Because he's got money. Because and you're just that close. You're literally right next to the man holding the brass ring. The things that people will do for fame, fortune, for power, it's disturbing, y'all. And then when they get actually caught, when somebody has the balls to actually step forward and say, he did this to me, that's when they suddenly turn around and go, I can't believe he did all those things. I saw it all. And they're sitting across from Gayle. They're having a Gayle interview, and it's like, I haven't seen that for 20 years, and I can't believe he did all of those things to those innocent people, and I feel so terrible about it. And it's like, wait a second, you had 20 years to do something about it. And now you're suddenly showing up and trying to buy my new book, Transcendence. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Sorry, but that's true, okay? I had some good coffee today. I'm sorry. I had some good coffee today. All right? So I'm wide the F up. Wide awake. Wide the whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I'm wide awake. The F? Okay, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Buy my book. I can't believe it. It's like, what? What are you talking about? You were there. And now you're trying to capitalize on this ish? The hell you talking about? I got time today, guys. I got time. Okay, money, power, and ish rule the world. Yes, they do. Okay, I think S is first and then the money and the power. Okay, because like I said, those taco covers. Okay, they're more powerful than nukes, y'all. Okay, I'm just saying. Getting it in. You see guys that are willing to fight for it. Okay, that are willing to pay anything for it. That are willing to put a third mortgage on their house for that ish. Okay, no, not just these days. This has always been this way, baby. It's always been this way. Okay, for the love of getting it, in. And then you got the money, and then there's the power, okay? And I know Scarface said, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the woman, right? But it's actually the other way around. If you already have the money, that's the first thing that they give a damn about. They are hounding, okay? They are hound dogs, and they're willing to sacrifice anything for that. You understand what I'm saying? Moving on. Happy Days, thank you so much. Hollywood is evil. You're seeing that play out with D4vd, okay? Folks like Danny Masterson and others, notorious PDF files operating unchecked for years. And we still see that to this day right now. There's already information, there's already rumors, there's already people out here that everyone's side-eyeing, and they're doing it in real time, and no one does anything about it. Why? Because that person has money, that person has power, and it can also be female too. I'm just going to tell you. It can also be on the other side of the fence as well. How many have you seen recently of these teachers, female teachers, getting caught chopping it up with students that they shouldn't even be chopping up with, period? Think about that for a second. If you open up, like the Daily Mail, or you open up any of these other platforms, these news sites, you'll see another teacher caught DMing her 16-year-old high school student. Another teacher found doing the hibbity-dibbity with one of her students. Like, literally, you're seeing this every day, and a lot of them are female now. Or they're found with content on their phone. Females. I ain't lying. If I'm lying, I'm dying. That is really happening, and it's a tidal wave of that kind of content, that kind of information, okay? Star Fury. Heck, remember that story of the soldiers spilling their guts in the hoe house? No, I don't know about that story. No, I don't know that story. Spilling their guts in the hoe house? What happened in the hoe house? To hell? Please expand. Expand that information, please. Okay? But like I said, it's wild what we're seeing right now. Okay? It's wild, the information that we're seeing. It is very scary. This is the reason why more and more people are looking at homeschooling their children. But then you look at the likes of D4vd and you're going, well, he got homeschooled, so maybe not. You see what I'm saying? So there's predators everywhere, guys. The PDF files are everywhere. So we just need to keep our heads on a swivel. All right. And we need to keep these people held accountable. Straight up. Straight up. Now, there is another thing, okay, that I'm going to share with y'all here. Give me a hot minute. Let me just pull this bad boy up. I appreciate the freestyle conversation today. I really, really do. Okay. I really, 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 really do. Because like I said, there's so much that we can talk about that we haven't really fully talked about yet.
So back in 20.
Hold on.
So back in 20.
Okay, so let me pull this up. Okay, I appreciate you guys rapping with me and rocking with me right now. It means the world to me. Okay, and I know this is very, it's very, what's the word? Unorthodox, or like not structured. Okay, we're just kind of shooting the ish. Like I said, I'll probably be back on to court hearing that's supposed to be happening. Okay. So just so you know about that as well. All right. Ja bless me. Thank you so much. I love you guys too. Seriously. You have no idea how much that means to me. You guys being here and being a part of the convo. But let's get into this. Okay. So this is another video I showed you guys already, but he did a video. This guy's name's Ethan. He did a video a year ago, apparently, or sorry, 2 years ago now, because he put something up in 2024, basically saying, hey, yo, there's a rapper named D4vd. He be running with this girl named Celeste, and it's wrong, right? So again, he just doubled down again and saying, yo, I've been telling you guys about this. Just nobody gave a damn about it until her body was found. Take a listen to this.
So back in 2024, I exposed David for dating a minor. I even had the photo and I showed it back in 2024 of him giving thousands of dollars to little kids to keep it a secret. But still, no, it didn't blow up. No one that saw it didn't really care that much.
Now, what's really sad about that, terrible freeze frame, but what's sad about that, okay, is that he was putting that information out and no one looked at it. And I know, I get it. Like maybe he was hoping that it would go viral and then he'd be a hero. And then next thing you know, he's on CNN or Fox News being like, so what made you put that video out and make it go viral? Maybe he was hoping for something like that. I don't know. Okay. But nonetheless, no one gave a damn about it at that time, right? No one gave a damn about it at that time. Now, here's the thing, Heather, no disrespect, none taken. It's a damn good question to ask, Heather. Okay, thank you. No disrespect. Where did it go? It just disappeared on me. Damn. Where did it go? Okay. No disrespect. But do we know the citizenship status of the family? They're citizens. In fact, SF Investigates said that on that interview with Gideon. Okay. They said that, yeah, they were looking into it because maybe they were scared about getting in trouble, you know what I mean, with ICE, especially with ICE raids going. There was a huge uptick, back then with ICE raids and stuff like that. Maybe they were concerned about getting caught and then getting deported, so on and so forth, only to find out that they actually were citizens. So they're legal, okay? It may make sense, or it might make sense, why the family wasn't pushing her disappearance. Yeah, no, they were citizens. So it's like, make it make sense, man. Right? Star Fury, thank you so much for telling me what it is. The soldiers heading to Iran, from Fort Bragg in the strip. Yeah, in that strip club. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, you're right. They were just giving it all to everybody. They're like, oh, I'm willing to give it all. I'm willing to give you all the information. This is the reason why when guys get honeypotted, they look like Boob with the Fool. Because remember that guy worked like a high-ranking spot for like with nuclear weapons or something like that. I forgot his actual title, but remember he was sitting there going like, talking about all kinds of top secret information about what's going on overseas and all that. Talking about lethal chemicals and all that, handling of lethal chemicals, etc. And he's just talking to some girl that he's just trying to get in bed with. Remember all that? And he's like, you're not a spy, are you? And she kept saying, you're just so strong. You're just so powerful. You're so powerful. Remember all that crap? Honeypotted. You see what I'm saying? Watch Safe Kids from CSA. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. One child every 9 minutes being SA'd. That is just... That is a fact that I'm sure none of us wanted to hear, but we need to hear, right? Mimi, thank you so much for the super sticker. Yeah, it burns my cookies too. Okay, all of this ish burns my mother-loving cookies. Let's continue on though. All right, let's hear more from Ethan.
I mean, it got 100 likes, but it wasn't like, oh shit, like we need to do something about this. Like I was the only one basically doing something at that point. And I had no idea that it was connected with Celeste. I just knew that he was dating a minor. But it was genuinely crazy. Like that shit is genuinely crazy. The kid who sent me those photos, his name is Gonzalo, aka Ponzalo, the one from his Discord server. he was scared. I remember I was posting some videos about it. He texted me, he told me to delete them. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he was scared. I don't know if David threatened him or something, because he was telling me to delete the videos. Like, he was scared that David was gonna come and hurt him or something.
That's crazy. Again, someone being intimidated enough that they were like, okay, never mind. I'm taking this off. Don't share this information anymore. Stop talking about it. We're scared. Blah, blah, blah. Again, that is just crazy to think that this is somebody who's been out here, that knew about Celeste and David's relationship. That's the other thing that was really driving me nuts, because apparently there were people going online, at least on his Discord, and basically saying, don't you know that you're dating a little? Don't you know that this person's not of age? Don't you know that this guy is a PDF, etc.? I mean, they're saying all these things about this guy, and they were saying it for a long time, way before she even went missing. Think about that too. This is not, like, it's just so insane to me that this guy was able to just hide in plain sight, you know? Here's some other information. Apparently, they're going to be able to, he's going to be able to get a haircut before the preliminary hearing. This is from CF Investigates, okay? Says, although D4vd's legal team has not filed a motion to unseal the search warrants, they did file 2 motions they considered important. First, they requested that D4vd, David Anthony Burke, be allowed to wear civilian clothing for the preliminary hearing instead of a jail-issued jumpsuit. That motion was denied. Damn right. Okay, he's already a criminal. He's already dirty. He can't sit there and go, oh, that content on my phone? Yeah, I was framed. Nah, that was on his phone, okay? Second, they requested that he be allowed to receive a haircut prior to the preliminary hearing. That motion was granted. So he's allowed to get a nice new fade, okay? He allowed to get that, get lined up and everything, but he is not allowed to wear civilian clothing in the next preliminary hearing that they have, okay? I mean, you can see the footage, see the documents right now for yourself, right? Denied, and of course, this one is approved, okay? He is allowed to get a haircut, but he's going to be wearing that orange jumpsuit showing up to his preliminary hearing. Just so you guys know that as well. Okay? Again, this is just insane, the information. Let's take a look at some of this stuff here. Okay? Now, again, we did do a conversation, deep dive, whatever you want to call it, into the he was inspired by anime, right? Like, this was a murder that was inspired by anime, which is absolutely, it's wild to even think of, right? But we talked about that. Content creators, were able to talk about that as well and break that down, which I think is pretty shocking, to say the least, just hearing that information, right? But again, there is a new photo, allegedly. Interesting. I don't know if I'm going to show that right now. What I do want to show you, though, is this video. Apparently, this video that we're going to take a look at allegedly happened at his release party. So this is like a little over a month after Celeste was allegedly unalived. And he apparently showed up at Plaque Max's album release party, and he seems to be chilling. He seems to be doing just fine. And I guess this is just from like a live stream that was going on. So let's take a look at this really quick.
You've been everywhere, bro.
I was in Japan, Korea.
You was just in Korea.
Thailand. I was gonna go to 88 Rising Festival, but I'm kind of jet lagged like crazy.
Bro, it's in 2 days. You gotta pull up. I'm there.
Should I chat?
He's jet lagged like crazy right now, probably because he was too busy trying to figure out how to get rid of the body. That's it. He's like, I'm jet lagged like crazy right now. Yeah, I think he was busy trying to figure out how he could cover this mother lover up. Okay. Because this girl currently, as he's smiling, as he's out here chilling in the cut, conversating and having a grand old time with one of his boys, by the way, that girl, that poor little girl, is in the front trunk of his Tesla as we speak. As this man is smiling and cheesing in front of the camera, trying to be sexy and all that, whatever the hell it is, trying to be cute, right? You have a body in the front trunk of his Tesla right now as we speak. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? That's real stuff, y'all. That is real stuff. Real freaking stuff. Hold on 1 second. Oh, come on. Hold on. There's sound on this one?
Bro, I thought he was just...
Okay. Let's take a look at this. This is also another video. Apparently they're saying evidence that Celeste was 10 and David at the time was 15 when they first started talking. Okay. So, of course, we got to take everything with a grain of salt, but let's see what this is all about, cabron. Okay, so it says, according to former Fortnite players, 15-year-old David Burke would convince then 10-year-old Celeste Rivas to create a Discord account. Let's take a look at this.
So before David was David, he used to go by the name Chronic Ant.
24 hours in the woods with Chronic Ant.
Chronic Ant was a really good Fortnite player.
Oh, wait. Hey.
When Celeste was first identified, I had came across some comments that said that they knew David. They used to play the game with him. And
hold on, we got to take a look at some of these posts. It says, "This sickens me, dude. I was in a zone wars with both of them and thought the little girl in the lobby was someone's sister on the game. I always had a weird feeling about him. I didn't even know he was D4vd. Now, of course, you have any record of the game or the queue or something. Someone else said they maybe had a recording, but they haven't found it. Then he responds. Is that him responding? Yes, it looks like that's him responding. I stopped playing years ago, so I wouldn't be able to find anything. I tried. That's one of them.
that said that they knew.
Like I said, I stopped playing chapter 2, and at this time, he wasn't making music. He was a Fortnite player that posted montages like everyone else. I had an old friend from that time that texted me and told me that D4vd is Chronic Ant, okay, we were playing with. And I didn't play with him all the time. We did wagers and a private zone wars, private zone wars, one of which Celeste was actually playing in as well. So then he continues his gamer tag, as I remember it, was YT Chronic Ant. People who play games should definitely spread the name around.
David, they used to play the game with him.
All wanted to be famous. No girls were talked about much. Let's see. 100% couldn't have been anyone else. Yeah, because somebody said, "Are you sure it was her?" And he's like, 100%. It couldn't have been anyone else. Crazy.
And he used to always had his.
I'm trying to find a clip. Blah blah blah. Yeah, this is absolutely. Yeah, we were queuing up in Fortnite with random people. Then we queued up with Celeste. At first, it was normal. Like 3 months go by, I noticed it's getting weird. Like, how Sorry. Like, how does he know her entire story? And I'm thinking he's just being nice to this kid like a brother. It got weirder every time we would play together. Eventually, he did his own thing. And yeah, I never would have thought this would ever happen.
Girl around. Looking back on everything now, they 100% think
That's crazy.
that was Celeste.
This sickens me, dude. I was in a zone wars with both of them and thought the little girl in the lobby was someone's sister on the game. I always had a weird feeling about him. I didn't even know he was David.
I'm trying to find a clip of me, Celeste, and David in a call. I knew I should have said something, bro. I thought he was just being normal. We were queuing up in Fortnite with random people, then we queued up with Celeste. At first, it was normal. Like 3 months go by, and I notice it's getting weird. Like, how does he know her entire story? I'm thinking he's just being nice to this kid like a brother. It got weirder every time we would play together. Eventually, he did his own thing.
I was in a lobby while she was there, and that was only one time. I assumed it was someone's sister. Thinking of everything makes more sense now.
Do you remember anything weird about the conversation? Do you remember her username?
I don't remember her username, but there wasn't any weird vibes. We were playing Zone Wars, and she'd just make little comments like everyone while playing. But Ant would joke about SA all the time, and other...
Whoa! 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 He would joke about SA all the time, and other weird things, severe dark humor, and everyone that played with him can confirm. What?
Weird things like severe dark humor, and everyone that's played with him can confirm.
What year and month was this, if you can remember?
January, February 2020.
January, February of 2020.
Or can be 2021, because it was before I stopped playing, and I stopped playing around then.
And you're sure it was her?
100%. Couldn't have been anyone else.
Yo, I'm watching the live right now, but I just want to say this because me and my friend are trying to recall everything. We were all in a Fortnite team called Chronic, which is where I met him. He met her in like 2021 through Fortnite, I'm pretty sure. And then he made her get Discord. Everyone in the team knew about her, and he would joke about it and brush it off every time it got mentioned. That's all I personally know, but my friend Pistol knows more because they talked way more. She would literally say he her, but then follow it up with a joke. So
whoa, 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 whoa. Woo, 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 woo. We're gonna roll that back. Woo, woo. This is the first time me listening to this, guys. Okay, no joke, no joke. This is the first time me hearing this. This is absolutely insane. Who on God's green? Hold on. Who owns God's green's earths would make jokes about aura? Who on God's green earth would make jokes about SAing? Okay, who on God's green earth is like who would do that? You see what I'm saying? This doesn't make any, this is wrong, y'all.
Knows more because they talked way more. She would literally say he her, but then follow it up with a joke. So I don't know if she was being for real or not. He was also just a weirdo, to be honest. He used to send in group chats.
If
what?
Everything that they alleged was true, David was 15 years old and Celeste was 10.
Yikes. Bruh. That is very, very, very disturbing. But welcome to the possibility of this rabbit hole getting even deeper. Okay? Going even deeper. This is jacked up, y'all. This is truly, truly jacked up. And it only it's see what I'm saying? Like the possibilities of these things just continue to get worse and worse and worse and deeper and deeper and deeper. And there's so much here that I'm still like, we're still trying to grasp everything. We're still trying to understand everything. But it's just insane to me that you got a situation where she could have been groomed as young as 10 years old. Now, here's the other thing too, though. There's it's like a bottomless pit. Yeah, it's a bottomless pit of information. And then you got this lore that we talked about yesterday. Shout out to Strategic Eyes, okay? But now you got this lore that's surrounding this case as well. Because now you're hearing anime, you're hearing about this anime inspiration that caused him to figure out, caused him to come up with an idea to actually unalive Celeste in the way that he did. That was inspired by anime, by manga. That's absolutely insane. So again, guys, like it's lore. Like I hate to say lore, but it's lore. Like it's lore. He's creating some sort of like, only for those of us that are in this true crime realm, we're only going to fully understand. Like we're only going to fully grasp what's going on here, because we're following this. Other people are not going to fully understand it. It's like, like I said, it's like people who are really into comic books or really into movies, right? And there's a universe that's created in those types of movies or books or genres, whatever genre it may be, right? Suddenly you're going, okay, we got lore. We got there's a history behind all of this, right? There's levels to this situation, right? Which is absolutely insane. We don't have that kind of thing in most of these cases, like Brian Koberger, the Idaho 4 murders, right? There wasn't really you didn't need a glossary or a table of contents to understand what was going on with that particular case, right? It's not like he had code words for certain things, so on and so forth, that we know of, at least. Whereas this situation, he's got it's deep. You know what I'm saying? This mother lover deep. And it's things that he stole, by the way. So it's not like he's like some creative genius. He stole this ish from manga, from anime. And now we're learning all this deeper, heavily layered stuff that just makes him look, he's a butthole, guys. Like, oh my God. He's literally a overly pretentious butthole. Okay? That's it. I could use some really bad flowery language right now, but I'm going to be nice because we got kids in the room. I already know there's kids in the room, okay? So you don't have to do earmuffs to him, all right? But he is literally a overly pretentious butthole. That's it. He a butthole. I don't care. He did this, all right? He did this. And now he thinks he's some creative genius. He thinks he's the next Kanye. Only the difference is Kanye ain't locked up. And from what we know, Kanye didn't kill nobody. And Kanye didn't steal anything as far as creative ideas, at least that I know of, right? This guy is just a pretentious, up his own ass butthole. That's it. And thinks that he's so quick with it, that he's so smart, that he's just going to run a fast one on us. Thinking that, his Itami and all that is just brilliant. When in actuality, he stole that from manga. And if people are actually, like we are, smart enough to do the reverse math, you're going to realize, oh, he didn't say anything profound. This is not some profound thing. He's just copying from Japanese cartoons and Japanese comic books. He is a pretentious butthole. Okay? That's it. Now, for those of y'all who are asking questions about like what time is this supposed to be at and all that, let me explain something to you. All right? Actually, real quick before we go into this, all right, let me just get this super chat here really quick. Okay, the Rebel, thank you so much. Oh, the Real Rebel, I'm sorry. I would think once the trial starts, all of this will come out when the relationship started. Yep, that's true. The family definitely knows more as well. Abso-freaking-lutely. I think it goes without question. The family knew exactly what was going on, especially when you start hearing about emails being sent to certain management teams and all that. That also confirms that everyone knew. Everyone knew, guys. That's the sad part about it. Everyone knew. And they did not save or did anything to help save this child. That's what's so jacked up about that. They did nothing to try to save this child. Now, according to Lauren Conlon, thank you so much for, shout out to Lauren Conlon for giving us this information. So David has a hearing today at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay? 1:30. So that would be 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 Central Standard Time, just so you guys know. So in about 2.5 hours from now, there will be a hearing. Now, there's speculation that they may ask for a continuance. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. Watch Save Kids, thank you so much for the love. These PDF files are on every social media hunting. They most definitely are. They most definitely are. Okay. Do you think that that David's the only one out here doing this kind of stuff? No. There's more. They're all doing the same thing, if not worse, out here in these streets. That's why I say keep an eye on your kids with that Roblox, and keep an eye on your kids with that mother-loving Fortnite as well. All right? Those online gaming situations, people are diabolical. All right? But just so you know, okay, the hearing is at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then, of course, she's going to be reporting. Of course, she has a correspondent over there, which is really great. She'll be sharing details with sharing updates on with Taylor on X, and of course follow the story. Keep an eye out for coverage of the Nick Reiner hearing. That's also happening right now as well. So I guess that's the reason why his hearing has been pushed to 1:30 Pacific Standard Time because of this Nick Reiner hearing as well, just so that you guys know what is going on. All right. But let's see here. Let us see here for a second. Let us see here. Hold on. This whole thing is just crazy, guys. Let's see. I haven't shown this to you guys yet. I want to play a little bit of this real quick. I just want to play a little bit because I am kind of curious what he thinks about this. This is Bruce. I forgot his full name. Bruce Rivers? Yeah, Bruce Rivers. Okay. I want to pull this up and see what he has to say about all this too. It's pretty bad. Okay. Hold on real quick. I'm looking to see if there's. Let me just look at this. Hold on. Because he has segments here, so I just want to pull up a few things here. Like I said, this is just so bad. Okay, so he's got there's a clip here where he talks about his lawyer, D4vd's lawyer. So I just want to hear what he has to say about this. Let's take a look at this really quick.
And, whatever. So let's just talk about this kind of crap, okay? Because when you make statements in court and you don't back them up, you lose credibility. And what do we have as a lawyer but credibility? All we have is our name, right? You don't have anything else. So let's hear what Blair Burke said.
I believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, nor was he the cause of her death.
I just want to say this really quick. I'm sorry, but shout out to Bruce Rivers. Okay. Shout out to him. Okay. Great content. I always see his show. I just forget his last name. I'm not trying to be rude. Okay. But I always forget his last name. But he has great content. But one thing is for sure. She just said he has nothing to do with her murder. He has nothing to do with her death. Now, I've already said this to you guys before, but I'm going to say it again. Could it possibly be that he's saying that it wasn't him because it was another alter ego of his named Itami? Now, I know that sounds a little insane, but maybe technically it was him, but it wasn't him. You see what I'm saying? Now, again, I know that sounds a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but at the same time, he did create another personality. What are the possibilities of him actually believing that he wasn't mentally there at the unaliving of his girlfriend? And then, of course, the chopping up of her body, so on and so forth. What are the possibilities that he had in his mind didn't do this? It wasn't D4vd. It was Itami that did this. Is that the angle that they're going to be going with? Or are they saying that someone else raised their hand to Celeste and did all of this to her and that he's being framed? That's another thing. But I will say this. It still doesn't make any sense to me that he would sit there and say, oh, I had nothing to do with it, yet you never opened the front trunk of your Tesla for 4 months? Not never? You didn't open the back trunk of your car? Ever? Again, like I said, it doesn't make sense to me. So the only thing I can think of him going with is either he didn't have anything to do with this at all and that he's completely innocent and he's being framed, or he is trying to go with the insanity plea. That's the only other thing I can think of. It's one or the other.
And we would like to be able to have the evidence come into the light of day at the earliest opportunity.
Okay. When you make bold statements like that, some people like to be bold right out of the block. I'm not that way. Because you haven't seen one fucking thing that the government has yet. And she's a fine lawyer.
Oh, hold on. And also, not only did she say he had nothing to do with this, then they came out, the prosecution came out and said, he got copious amounts of CP on his phone. And then they said, oh, and we also wiretapped his ass. So she even said all that stuff even after the fact, if I'm correct. Okay? She even came out saying he's innocent. He has nothing to do with this. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if she's going to be his lawyer for very much longer. I'm just telling you that right now. That's just what I'm predicting. I don't see it. I don't see her being the lawyer for him anytime soon.
Really good lawyer. She's really fucking expensive. But she ain't going to try this case. She is not going to be the lawyer at the end of this case.
Whoa! Did I just call it? Holy crap! Holy crap! I've never seen this clip. On God. Wow. Okay. Shoot. Okay. So he's predicting the same thing I'm predicting. He's predicting the same thing I'm predicting. Yeah, this lawyer ain't gonna stick around. No, not after all this information that just came out. She gonna kick rocks. Watch.
I bet you $25 that she's not gonna be the lawyer at the end of this case.
Wow.
In order to establish that. We're asking for April 23rd as a 3 of 10.
Get the coroner's department, which is now the medical examiner's department.
So now she, the prosecutor, knows all this stuff.
Yep.
You sit back and say,
he is screwed.
You're more than welcome to have whatever we got. But it's a lot.
To release those materials.
Your Honor, it's surprising news given the District Attorney's Office held a press conference this morning where they discussed the cause of death, apparently under seal and not released by the coroner's office, as did the robbery homicide unit to the press. So
discussing a cause of death or something like that without specifics to the press is one thing. Releasing an entire medical report with a lot more detail is quite another. Anyway, so remember, that's how this started, right? Now, let's take a look at where we're at now. So we got the issue of me calling her a woman out of the way, right? Right? She's a girl. There's no question. And when she met David, she was like 9, and he was grooming her from 9 to 11. I mean, what the fuck? Romantic homicide. Remember that song? No, thank you. So, and this is a picture of what she looked like. She's just a fucking baby. Just a baby.
Yeah.
Just an absolute baby. So the family...
She looks like she's 6 in that photo. I'm sorry. This is a child. And like, people can't sit there and go, oh, well, you know how it is. Some people just look young for their age. No, you really can't do that, y'all. You really can't roll with that. I'm sorry. Not with that. Not with the photos like that, etc. I mean, she was a baby. A wee little baby. Okay? It just angers me so much. Oh my God. I'm sorry. It just angers me so much. How can somebody... We already had conversations about like girl dads. Okay? Shoot, just dads in general. Doesn't matter if it's a girl or boy. Boy dad or girl dad. You know for a fact you're going to do everything you can to protect your children. It just doesn't make sense to me that they would just be like, all right, cool. It just doesn't make sense to me. Unless they were fooled. But how would they be fooled if they've seen this dude pull up to their home? Like I said, there's got to be, their reasoning has to be phenomenal. Their reasoning has to be ironclad because there's going to be a lot of people demanding answers. Doesn't matter if we get, like, it looks like that justice will be served here very soon, unless some weird hiccup happens, unless some miracle on his end happens. But at the end of the day, when she actually gets the justice that she rightfully deserves and he is put away for the rest of his life or meets Mr. Sparky, we still need to start asking the questions about what the F is going on with the parent situation. What's up with that side of the story? Because it just doesn't make any earthly sense, y'all. It doesn't. And if they need to be held accountable, I really hope that they do. I really, really hope that they do, guys.
Issued a statement. We would like to thank the Los Angeles Police Department and the District Attorney's Office for their hard work. We would also like to thank the people of Lake Elsinore for all their support. Celeste was a beautiful, strong girl who loved to sing and dance. Every Friday night was movie night, and we spent wonderful times together, the family wrote. We love her very much, and she always told us she loved us. We miss her deeply. All we want is justice for Celeste.
You know, I have so much I want to say. Like, I have so much I want to say about that statement, but I'm also trying so hard to be as respectful as I can be with the family because everything's still alleged and nothing is fully locked in yet. But it does aggravate me so much because I'm there's a part of me that's like, yeah, we want the same amount of justice, but does that mean, could it mean that the family is needed to be served that justice too? But that's what I mean. If you got the school knowing, if you got teachers knowing, if you got the students knowing, you got the brother knowing, you got the town knowing, I just don't get it, y'all. I just don't get it. Happy Days, thank you so much for the love. PDF files pick certain age ranges. I'd say David's range was 8 to 12, maybe 13. She was aging out. She had a loud mouth. Those two things got her nixed. Well, maybe. And then again, maybe not. Maybe it wasn't a situation where she was aging out. Maybe he very much was loving to her and in this relationship and God knows what. And then suddenly out of nowhere, something happened. I keep thinking it has nothing to do with age because he was dating allegedly he dated other girls that were around his age, that were of age, that were not littles. So I keep thinking that something happened where he was like, I think, it's more of a freedom thing. Maybe he just didn't want her tagging along all the time. Maybe because people were starting to get hot on the fact that, or hold on. Let me get this super chat here really quick. I gotta say something really quick. Watch Save Kids from CSA. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Teachers, school staff are mandated reporters. Mandated reporters. Yeah, but I think it's interesting that it seems like nobody did anything, right? No one. There was emails sent to management, but then that was it. No one went and said, hey, what's going on here is very strange, right? You got a kid that's allegedly running around with D4vd, this rapper guy. What's this story? No. No one was looking into it. No one called CPS. No one, did a deep investigation into that. Everyone knew, but no one did anything. It's weird, right? So the only thing I could think of is that she was getting too expensive for him. That's the other part too. That's the only other part I can think of. The theory I have is that she got too expensive for him, meaning he was paying off all these people. Mom, or like the family, allegedly, kids, students, allegedly. He's doing everything he can to protect his own ass, to the point where he said, I need to sever these ties. Sever may not be the best word to use right now, but you get what I'm saying. That he's like, I need to get further away from this situation as quickly and as painless as I can. And I think he said, or she said, nope. She was living in a whole other apartment or whole other house down the street from his home in the Hollywood Hills. He's like, I need you to go back. Like, we're done. We can't do this anymore. We need to separate, so on and so forth. And I'm sure he tried, and this is just speculation warning, okay? But maybe he was trying to cut ties with her as best as he could. But she was too dependent on that lifestyle, or too dependent on him. She was in love. It's she's young and in love, so on and so forth. Maybe he was trying to distance himself from her because it was getting too hot, too many people looking at him. He also had an album about to drop. His name was about to be written in the stars. He's going to be doing featured songs with her and SZA and do all these different things that he's about to do, Kehlani or whoever else he's going to be doing songs with, right? His name is about to be huge. And he's like, I can't have this 14-year-old girl, soon to be 15-year-old girl, running around with me. I can't. People are going to start asking questions, and my career will be over before it even starts. And I'm spending a lot of money on keeping people quiet. The only way I can get this thing to end, all this financial responsibility, all these finances that will just keep draining my pocket, is to cut ties with her. And then he said, listen, I'm about to be big. I got to focus on these tours. I got to focus on this, that, and the third. There's a lot of pressure on me right now. I got this, this album's about to drop. And I really need to be focusing on that. So I need you to go back home. And she probably lost her mind. Here's the other thing too. Hear me out. Hear me out though. This just popped in my head though. So she says, I'm sure she's like, I can't believe that, blah, 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 but I love you, so on and so forth. He's trying to distance himself. He's like, no, we don't, like, we good, blah, 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 right? What if she starts blackmailing him too? Hear me out. What are the possibilities of her blackmailing him as well as these other, like all the other students and her friends that were doing that too? Think about that. He wants to sever ties with her because not only is this just draining his pocket, and he's paying everybody and then some, her friends, classmates, etc., to stay quiet, possibly paying her family album about to drop, all that. He's like, please, we have got to cut ties. We got to go our separate ways. You need to move. You need to move away. Like, you need to go back home. Go back home, go to school, do your thing. I'm going to be doing some tours. I'm going to be going to, I'm going to be going to the likes of Korea, so on and so forth. Right? What if she's like, okay, F you. No, I love you. I don't. And she's like, I need you to go. He's like, I need you to move out. I need you to go back home. And as she's sitting there talking and angry about it, probably talking to her friends and stuff, maybe the friends are going, maybe she comes up with the idea like, yo, they're extorting him. Why can't I do the same damn thing? She calls him up. Hey, I'm about to make your life a living hell. You don't think I'm not going to tell everybody about what you did? Things that you were doing, the things that you did with me? And he's like, what? Okay, come on now. No, we don't have to do it like that. We don't have to do it like that. It doesn't have to be like that. Why can't we just, separate and just be cool? And she's like, no, I'm about to tell everybody about your stuff unless you hook me up. Maybe that's what it is. I'm going to tell the cops. I'm going to rat on your ass. So he's freaking out. He's got an album about to drop, so on and so forth. So he says, okay, you know what? Come on. Come over. I got that money for you. Listen, I got that money for you, but come on over. We'll have some drinks. We'll hang out. Listen, it'll be all cool. Like, we're friends, right? We're still friends, right? Come through. And I got you. We'll play some video games. We'll listen to some music. We'll vibe out, so on and so forth. And then he gets her in there. She has a few drinks, and then he attacks her. Now, again, speculation. Okay, speculation. I mean that, I don't know the full breakdown, but I'm assuming that because there was already an ongoing theme of extortion, blackmail going on, that there's a possibility that she said, well, everybody else is getting paid off this ish. Why? What about me? You're about to kick me out? F this. Hook me up with some bread. Or I'm telling the cops, man. Maybe. She threatened to expose him. So maybe she was doing just like her friends were doing. Just like all of her friends were doing. And allegedly what her parents were doing. And saying, I want some bread too. That's what I think. I think it's like he was just spread so damn thin. Straight up, I think he was just getting spread so damn thin financially. And then, of course, on top of that, he about to be out here. And for a fact he's thinking in his head, probably going, damn, I can't go to the MTV, VMAs with her on my arm. I can't go to the Grammys with, what if I get nominated for things? You think she's going to be on my arm at these events? Then people are definitely going to be talking. You see what I'm saying? So again, like I said, very wild stuff. Very wild stuff. She was living in that home. There was another person, another little that was actually living that, also living in that home, according to Steve Fisher as well. I don't know. All I'm saying is something about this seems like there could have been something more than just her saying, I'm about to just go to the police. And that maybe she was trying to get some bread. Maybe. Maybe. Let me play the rest. Let me see a little bit more of this video here real quick.
Fuck. I just don't, this, I confess a little ignorance because before this case, I had no idea who this guy was. We don't run the same circles. I like John Denver. I like some rap, but it is what it is. So now here's the deal. Now,
did he just say Rocky Mountain High? That John Denver? Ain't that John Denver? He said, I listened to John Denver. Okay.
When you're in court, right? And the judge is Olmedo, and she is kind of known for high profile cases. She did the Danny Masterson case, you know him from that 70s show, is that where he's from? And he wound up getting 30 years to life for putting his where it didn't need to be. You don't see women getting in these sexual cases. You know that? Honestly,
they are. They're just not famous people. They are, though. Plenty of teachers getting caught. Plenty of teachers getting caught, y'all. We just don't see celebrities, you know what I'm saying, getting hit with these kinds of charges. We just don't. They're out there, though. They most definitely are.
It's like it's all fucking stupid, usually stupid white guys. But in this case, we're dealing with a stupid black guy. So she's married to a law enforcement officer. She's kind of pro-prosecution. She's been known to be tough but fair. Here's the thing. I'll take a tough sentencer but a fair trial judge. That gives me an opportunity to beat the case. I remember one time I had a murder case in St. Paul. Ramsey County. It was Judge Flynn. I always really liked Judge Flynn. She was just so nice, and she just had such a nice way about her. But if you got on the wrong verdict, she's going to screw your client, and she'll do it in a nice, happy voice.
Speaking of nice, Minnesota nice. Some say it's the younger, colder cousin of Southern hospitality.
And she said, before we started the trial, she says to me, oh, Bruce, I thought you'd remove me from this case because she's tough on sentencing. I said, well, Judge, you know, but she's pleasant. And she's really, I said, if I got my ass handed to me, I at least you'd do it in a nice and pleasant way. And she laughed. But, you know, my client was acquitted. So she never got the chance to. But she was fair in her trial. You know, she followed the rules and she was a good judge, really, really good judge. Now, there's been a lot of reporting on this case. Stephen Fisher is an investigator. He's following this case. You know, like we're all chasing this case because we want some views and whatever. You know, that's why we do this, I guess, right? Stephen Fisher, this is this guy. He says, the cause and manner of death in Celeste Rivas Hernandez was determined months ago. As stated in her official press release, the cause and manner of death were determined December 9th. The repeated claims by TMZ, now he's dishing on TMZ for some reason, that medical examiner was unable to determine a cause and manner of death due to the condition of her remains were never accurate. They were waiting on toxicology, which they were able to get in her state of decomposition. Now, they convened several grand juries. Why do they do this? Because the grand jury gives them subpoena power. You subpoena information to the grand jury. You can use the grand jury to investigate, not necessarily to indict. I have not been perfect in this case, but I will acknowledge that when I was wrong, TMZ, the other hand, reported the Celeste remains were still partially frozen when they arrived at the medical examiner's office, suggested that David Burke was the only recently arrested because the cause and manner had just been determined, and that information is incorrect. At this point, nearly all the information they have about pointing this case are false or misleading. You know, there's such a rush sometimes to get information, you know, through your channel or whatever, and so people get it wrong. But you know, you get a soundbite right away, and TMZ did the same thing here. Evidently, I don't know that for a fact, and I'm not going to dish on TMZ. I don't really have a dog in that fight. You know, I just think if you're going to be reporting on it, you should probably wear something other than just a T-shirt. Harvey, I mean, come on, dress it up a little bit, would you? I mean, I think you're a lawyer too, aren't you? I'm just joking. That's just a little tongue in cheek. I am glad to see the facts are finally driving the narrative in this case. Celeste died by stabbed by an object that caused 2 penetrating wounds to her torso and caused a liver injury. So we're going to do a more in-depth analysis of the medical report on Patreon. We're going to start because, you know, YouTube can create kind of a vanilla atmosphere. We don't have to worry about some of this stuff on our Patreon site. So we're going to do that. So if you look for that too. So Celeste died by stabbed by an object that caused 2 penetrating wounds to her torso and caused her a liver injury. Toxicology found she was presumptive positive for benzodiazepines and methamphetamine or MDMA, which is ecstasy. I have personally spoken to witnesses who told me that David used hard drugs with them.
Now, that's something that's very interesting. The fact that there is history of him, okay, taking hard substances, right? And that if she did actually have that in her system, there's a possibility that maybe he, gave that to her so that he could attack her. Or maybe it's just recreational. Maybe they were like, he brought her in, he asked her to come up, and maybe the plan was to get her as vulnerable as possible by, hooking her up, and then boom, he attacked, right? Oh, it's a great time, blah, blah, blah. We're just kicking it. Let's do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No big deal. We're friends, right? We're just kicking it, right? We're buddies, right? And then we could talk about whatever you need. Or maybe it's like, yo, I'll give you what you need. Cool? Yeah, but come on, chill. Whatever. Let's kick it. We can still be friends. We can still hang out. Doesn't have to be that serious. You're going to get what you want. I'll get what I want. You see what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, take this. Drink this. Blah, blah, blah. And then she's, starting to feel the effects, right? And then he pounced. That could be it too. That could very well be it, right? That could very well be it. Or he slipped something in her drink. Possible too.
Ecstasy. I have personally spoken to witnesses who told me that David, a 13-year-old, you're probably willing to give her drugs too, right? So the David preliminary. Okay, now remember all the hubbub. She shows up on the scene. He's innocent and blah blah fucking blah. Did I look like Chris Farley there for a second? The David preliminary hearing has been continued until May 1st. Oh, I guess we need to have some time to look at the material. I guess we just didn't look at it yet. Matters of procedural importance were discussed today, mostly about transferring discovery from the DA office to the defense. Now, this is how I know Blair Burke ain't going to hang on to this case. Number one, I don't think they have enough money for her. Number two, I don't think she has the stomach for the rest of this case, to be honest.
I agree. I don't think that she has the stomach for this, and I also don't think that she's willing to stand there and try to defend somebody that already has his goose cooked. Okay? He's cooked, y'all. So she may, and that's also optically a very bad look for the likes of D4vd. If she ends up going, I'm passing this off to another somebody else who's going to represent D4vd, yo, this is bad. That's a bad look for him. That means his uphill battle is even steeper than we thought of before. Okay? Hold on. Leah just said, benzos are sedatives. He rugged her so she wouldn't fight back. Good point. Good point. So again, yikes, guys. He's in deep doo-doo. Do you understand that? He in so much doo-doo, knee deep in doo-doo, guys. Doo-doo all over the place. This is going to be very bad for him. And rightfully so. This is the bet he made. He is freaking screwed. Okay?
Honest with you. Items of interest that came up include David's devices that came to a significant amount of corn on the cob of a child variety, if you know what I mean. We can't say the word, I guess, according to my editors, of which requires special handling. When you're viewing this material of an inappropriate nature dealing with, okay, you know what I'm talking about, right? I can't say the fucking word here, but on my YouTube or Patreon I can. When you're dealing with that material, as a lawyer, you can't have that material in your possession. It's illegal, even if it's part of a case. So Blair Burke, if she's going to be the lawyer, which I don't think she's going to be, but if she's going to be the lawyer, in order for her to see what's on David's devices, all this inappropriate crap that he has on there, which if you have 40 terabytes of information, get ready for some. You better get your box wine, Blair, and you better get your big, huge bowl of popcorn and go on over to the district attorney's office and prepare more than one afternoon to view this voluminous amount of BS that he has on his devices, because you can't possess it in your office. So you have to go to the government's offices in order to view that material. That's what they mean by it requires special handling. Also, there's a large amount of data from a wiretap.
He's so screwed.
That's why you don't say things like, he's 100% not guilty. Do you believe that OJ's guilty? I believe OJ's guilty. But he said that in open court, and guess what? He was found not guilty. But that happened to work out for those guys. It ain't going to work out for David.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're starting out in a huge hole. First of all, you got a song called Romantic Homicide, which...
That's the other thing, too. They're planning on using the lyrics against him. They're planning on using his own music against him. Now, we've seen that in other cases, but in other cases, like, you know, drill rappers, that kind of thing, have used that kind of stuff. Like, you know, they say like what they're going to do, and then they actually end up doing it, and they use those lyrics in court against them. Now, this is the same situation. They're going to be using music like Romantic Homicide, etc., against this mother lover. Hence the reason why, yeah, exactly. Stop self-snitching. And this is exactly what he did. He was snitching the entire time, y'all. We've seen it in copious amounts of interviews, in his music, in his promo videos, all of those things, guys. It's insane.
It's just as dark can be, looking into the inner workings of your soul. And then you've got this lovely, you know, young girl who is probably idolized him, you know, missing the finger that had his name tattooed on it.
Crazy. Missing
an eye, missing, you know, dismembered body in bags in his Tesla. You're starting out in front of the bus, and the bus is coming at you 100 miles an hour. Also,
yeah, like again, this is not a situation of like, oh, could there have been another person that did this, so on and so forth, right? Like, again, it is absolutely insane that we have so much content. They have so much content. I'm sorry, so much content that, yeah, it's like a truck. It's like an 18-wheeler just bulldozing over a defense with all the information that they have. Wiretaps, content on his phone. Let's not forget his car and what was inside the car. You got songs like Runaway. You got songs like Romantic Homicide. You got promo videos, etc. Okay, you got all of these pieces of evidence, and they're not even tiny breadcrumbs. They're massive boulders that lead us toward him being guilty. This is nowhere near, and I know some people are like, this is OJ all over again. No, it is not. This is nowhere near OJ, where you're sitting there going, could he have done it? Could he not have done it? Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. No, there's no way. There would have to be an absolute crazy left turn that would have to happen to make it be like, oh yeah, he most definitely didn't do this at all, or throw in, you know, reasonable doubt. And I just don't see it. I personally do not see it. He is so freaking screwed, and I'm here for it. He's getting exactly what he deserves, because this man is an absolute freaking monster. And what he did here is really, really bad. Okay? Yes, guys, please hit that like button down below. Okay? Crush it. Please hit that like button down below. Okay? But he is so freaking screwed. All right? But guys, here's the thing. So I am going to go and take a little bit of a lunch break. All right? There is, we are going to be coming back. He's supposed to be having his hearing today in about, let's see, what is it? It's supposed to be like 3:30. So yeah, like, what is it? An hour and 45 minutes from now, just about. We will be back on. I'll be on before that though. Okay. But I definitely want to go get some food, eat, etc. And then we'll be back to talk about all of this stuff and more. So please go chill, go do your thing, and then come back. Okay. I will be on a little bit, a good portion before, a good time before 3:30 my time. So that would be 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. So I'll be back on here to give you guys the information. I don't know if that Nicole B. I don't know if there's going to be a press conference after the hearing. There may be one. We'll see what happens. But I will be back to cover it. I may not be able to cover the entire thing. It just depends on how long their preliminary hearing or this hearing is. I'm sorry. But we'll see what happens. Okay. But I will be back here in about an hour and 15 minutes from now. Okay. So that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. I'll be back on in a short while. So make sure you have that notification bell set to all, okay? Hit that like button down below before you head out. Would love to get it to 1K before this show is, wrapping up. That would mean the world to me. All right? Hit that subscribe button, okay? Hit that notification bell, set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. I'll be back on very, very soon, guys. All right?